it took a lot to get schools to be open. We were probably, so I think Uganda closed schools for about 83 weeks. And I found a group of parents that was sort of keen to mobilize reopening of schools. So we tried a little bit. And I think the only thing that moved the needle was when we said, but we are even going to beat Uganda. And at that point, everyone said, okay, maybe we should think about this. So the loss to what we have done to children, and let's not even talk about higher education because that's a whole other, even more depressing story, is significant. What puzzled me about it is that through this period, there was very little public mobilization on education. But the silver lining is that beyond what we see, quietly, lots of things happened which could possibly be leveraged. Again, we learned from the first Asar that for the first year, or at least certainly for the first 6 months after the initial confusion about school closures went past, there was a lot more parental engagement in what was happening inside the classroom, in the sense that worksheets were being sent to parents' WhatsApps. There were some places where teachers tried to reach households, reach students in the homes. So it's sort of, there's always been a third actor in a schooling system that we don't talk about enough in the Indian structure, which is the parent. And largely the parents have been kept outside. It's been between the school system and the student. The parent makes choices, private versus public, but that's it. And now for the first time, the classroom came alive for the parent. I think that opened a huge opportunity to leverage the traditional accountability structure of what makes public systems work. That we've not done it is a separate issue, but at least there was an opportunity that opened up. There's still time. The second important thing that happened is some states, I spent a lot of time in government schools in Delhi, and I know some things have happened in other states too, but I'll speak to the one I've seen the most. The biggest challenge inside the classroom in the Indian context is what I've often called the classroom consensus, in that parents, teachers, and the ecosystem all believe that the core purpose of the classroom is to complete the syllabus and maximize pass percentages, get the kid to pass the exam. So when you talk about learning levels inside the classroom, the challenge of teaching, teachers often will argue that that's not the goal of the classroom in some senses. There are many reasons why the teachers are not being able to teach, but they don't get into a conversation about the nature of the pedagogy, the curriculum, and the fact that the vast majority of students fell back in class 1. And so in class 8, they're going to stay as far back as they were in class 1. So the teacher only focuses on the first 2 rows. When COVID happened, school was closed. Nobody can be blamed for the fact that there was learning loss. So once schools opened and the government of Delhi, created a context where the focus was just remedial, let's just get these children up to speed, to be able to sit in a classroom and remember recognizing letters, reading, comprehension, basic arithmetic. The entire system aligned. And I have spent a lot of time talking to teachers, but I've never spent so much time talking to teachers in ways where they're speaking what seemed to me to be, music to my ears. They were talking about the last child, what they can teach the last child, and how they can bring the child to what the curriculum expects a child to know. I think this is a big shift. How much of this stays in the school system is an open question. It probably has already gone back to syllabus completion. Certainly the private schools where my children go to just assume that it was business as usual, and so that was that. But these experiments have happened, and they may leave kernels of possibilities of change in the education system if we are able to recognize it and leverage them and move quickly.